A husband and a wife, over their marriage, had 8 kids. One day, the husband notices that their 6th kid, Billy, looks very different from the other 7. The husband goes to his wife and asks her, "Honey, I noticed that Billy looks different from the other children. Did you have an affair?" The wife starts to break down into tears and nods her head. The husband, heartbroken, quietly asks his wife, "So who is Billy's father?" "You." Billy came home one day and told his dad, "Dad, a girl from school invited me over to her house." His dad smiled but said, "That's great, son, but always be careful. Sometimes people rush into things. You need to be prepared and responsible. In fact, you know what? Better safe than sorry. Be ready just in case." Billy nodded, followed his dad's advice, and headed over. At the girl's house, after some chatting and laughter, things started to get a little serious. The girl smiled and said, "Before we go any further, you have to pass a test." She dramatically removed her jacket and said, "These hands, never held by anyone but the breeze on a cool day." Then she took off her socks and said, "These feet, never touched by anyone but the sand on summer mornings." Finally, she looked at him and said, "And my heart, pure and untouched by anyone. Tell me, Billy, are you as pure as I am?" Billy smiled, dropped his trousers slightly and said, "Of course. I'm so pure. I'm still in the packaging." Little Billy comes home early from school, only to find his dad masturbating in the living room. As Billy is quite young, he is shocked and confused at what he is seeing. His dad tries to explain, "Don't be scared, Billy. I'm not hurting myself. I'm doing something completely normal. In fact, you are going to start doing it pretty soon as well." "Why is that, Dad?" young Billy asks. "Because, son, my hand is getting tired and I need someone to take over." A teacher asks little Johnny if he knows his numbers. "Yes," he says, "my dad taught me." "Can you tell me what comes after 3? 4. What comes after 6? 7. "Very good," says the teacher. "Your father did a very fine job. What comes after 10? "A jack," answers little Johnny. One morning, a manager at a busy tech company noticed one of his top employees hadn't shown up for work and hadn't called in sick either. It was unusual. This guy was never late, never missed a day. Worried and needing help with a sudden computer crash, the boss decided to call the employee's house. The phone rang. Then a tiny whisper answered. "Hello?" It was a child. "Hi there," said the boss gently. "Is your daddy home?" "Yes," came the soft whisper. "Can I talk to him?" "No." The child whispered again. Is your mommy there?" "Yes." "Great. Can I speak with her?" Another pause. "No." Now the boss was starting to get confused. "Is there anyone else home?" "Yes, the police." The boss sat up straighter. "Wait, the police? Can I speak with one of them?" "No, they're busy." "Busy doing what?" "Talking to mommy and daddy, and the firefighters." The boss was now officially alarmed. "Firefighters? What's going on over there?" In the background, he could hear a strange humming noise. "What's that sound?" he asked quickly. "A helicopter," the child whispered. "A helicopter? Why is there a helicopter?" There was a tiny giggle. "They just landed in the yard. The search team is here." The boss, now fully panicking, asked, "What are they searching for?" The child paused, barely able to contain their laughter. "Me." Back in the dusty days of the Wild West, there was a young cowboy named Jace who had one burning dream: to become the fastest gunslinger west of the Mississippi. He practiced day and night, quick draws, target shooting, spinning his revolver like a circus act. But deep down, he knew something was missing. He just wasn't there yet. One Saturday night, Jace wandered into a saloon in a one-horse town, frustrated and covered in trail dust. That's when he saw him, the legend himself, old Silas McGraw, sitting quietly at the bar with a whiskey in hand. The man was long retired, but stories of his speed could still hush a room. Jace nervously walked over, bought him a drink, and said, "Sir, all I want in this world is to be the best. Think you could give me some pointers?" Silas looked him over, shallow and squinty-eyed. Then he said, "First off, your holster's too high. Let it ride lower on your leg. Makes for a cleaner draw." Jace adjusted it on the spot, stood up, drew his pistol faster than he ever had before, and shot the feather off a woman's hat halfway across the room. "Hot dang," he grinned. "Got another tip?" "Sure," said Silas. "Take a knife and shave a notch in your holster where the hammer catches. Cuts down the drag." Jace did it right then and there. Drew again, snap, shot the cork off a bottle behind the bar. "Whew, that's slick," he said, grinning. "Got any more tricks?" Silas pointed to a rusty old can in the corner. "See that axle grease over there? Slather your gun in it. Every inch." Jace raised an eyebrow but did as he was told, smearing the thick grease all over his revolver. He looked back at Silas. "Now will that make me even faster?" Silas leaned in with a smirk. "Not a bit." "Then, what's it for?" The old man drained his glass and said, "Because when Big Hank, the actual fastest gun in the West, finds out you've been showing off and nearly shot his girlfriend's hat, he's gonna take that greasy revolver and shove it somewhere the sun don't shine. And that grease is the only thing that's gonna help you sleep tonight." Little Johnny was told by his friends that adults have a deep, dark secret and can be easily manipulated. Johnny decides to test it. He comes home, goes up to his mother and says, "Mom, I know everything." Mom shushes him and gives him $10. "Just don't tell Dad," she says. "Hey, it's working." Thinks little Johnny. An hour later, Dad comes home from work. Johnny goes up to him and says, "Dad, I know everything." Dad gives Johnny $100. "Don't tell Mom," he says. Just then, the mailman knocks on the door. Johnny opens it and says, "I know everything, mister." The mailman drops all his mail. His eyes tear up, and he says, "Well then, Johnny, come give Daddy a hug." Yesterday, my daughter emailed me again, asking why I didn't do something useful with my time. "Like sitting around the pool and drinking wine is not a good thing?" I asked. Talking about my doing something useful seems to be her favorite topic of conversation. She was only thinking of me, she said, and suggested that I go down to the senior center and hang out with the fellows. I did this, and when I got home last night, I decided to play a prank on her. I emailed her and told her that I had joined a parachute club. She replied, "Are you nuts? You are 84 years old, and now you're going to start jumping out of airplanes?" I told her that I even got a membership card and emailed a copy to her. She immediately telephoned me and yelled, "Good grief, Dad, where are your glasses? This is a membership to a prostitute club, not a parachute club." "Oh man, I'm in trouble again," I said. "I really don't know what to do. I signed up for 5 jumps a week." The line went dead.